Here with Pastor Victor Brote. Thanks for being here, Pastor.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
So we're going to talk about, there's just so much turmoil in the world and in the country today about, hypocrisy, what some people can get away with and what others can't get away with, even if people who are presidential candidates. And there's a person running for president who I think is being attacked through the legal system, my opinion, but we're going to give you some examples. And here's what I'm talking about. And you guys will get the gist of this. This is how business works. I'm a businessman. And here's how business works. And let's say you're in real estate and you want to build a building. You use your assets to leverage the loan. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to say, this is my balance sheet. This is what I'm worth. And that is subjective. The bank is going to evaluate that. And guess what? The bank is giving the loan. So the bank gets to determine the amount that they will loan you. The bank is taking a risk on you. And you can do your little pitch, but the bank is going to do their own evaluation of the situation. The bank is going to determine what the loan is going to be. They're going to determine, they're going to lay out the criteria. They're going to determine everything, the term of the loan. The bank is going to determine all of that, or the lender, because it's the lender that's lending the money. And these lenders, especially today, are even more particular. They're more conservative. They're more protective of what they loan. So they're going to make you jump through a lot more hoops. So I go to the bank. Here's my financial statement. They're going to say, here's the assets I want to collateralize. So they're going to look at it. The bank will do an appraisal on those assets. Why are they doing that? Because if you don't pay them, they're going to take the asset. You might be building a building over here, and you may use this building over here to collateralize the loan so that you can build this building. Now, if you don't make the payments and if you don't finance this right, not only is the bank going to take the building you're creating or building, they're also going to take your asset and everything else you put up as collateral if you don't pay them back. So the bank is going to do this deal according to what's in their best interest to make sure that they don't lose money. And guess what? 99% of all people do this in their lives. I'm going to give you an example. And this is absolutely not against the law. You're not overvaluing property. I'm not overvaluing anything. And the state determines what your property is worth. That's how you pay your property taxes, which is a whole nother thing. But that's not in this person's control who is getting a loan. So we've all done this. If you financed a car, you did it. You've done this. So let's throw you in jail. As a matter of fact, let's fine you $500 million for doing this. That's a random number, I know, but I think it's fair. If you finance a car, yeah, you're laughing, I see you. If you finance a car and it's the bank is going to determine, we will finance that car, we will give you this much, this is the interest rate, that's the deal. Do you want it or not? You get to say yes or no. Trump said, yes, I'll take the deal. That is not, there is no law about that. That's how business is done. So now, let's say I don't pay the loan back. I buy the car, but I default on the loan. That's harm to the bank. I didn't pay the loan back, but I didn't break any laws. Yeah, they're going to take the car, but I don't get fined $500 million because I didn't pay the loan back. The bank made a mistake. They shouldn't have lent money to a moron like me because I didn't pay them back. Now, they're going to take the car and sell it back to the dealership for whatever they can get, and they're probably going to take somewhat of a loss, but that's how it works. All right, Victor, what are your thoughts on this? I rambled on.
Oh man, there's so many directions on this. The first thing comes to mind is the scripture that tells us not to back somebody else's loan. And so what you do, you get yourself in hot water because you say, lend the money to the guy and I'll see to that it gets paid. Well, if you don't have the money to pay it in older times, and this is all the way up to, from what I understand, many places up until the 1600s, 1800s, and still there are countries that react this way, where you end up in jail because you don't pay the full amount. And the next guy down the line, if he backs it, he's on the line for it, or he goes to jail. It's just, and you don't get out of jail until you pay it out, but you don't have any way of earning things. There is a kind of bank or financiers twisting where they always come ahead. Now, for example, if they lose money on the car, they'll go after you for what they lost on. Now, some of the laws are if you turned your car back in and it sells for more than that value that you paid for, then you can get money back, but only then, because that's a new law, relatively speaking. It's just not reasonable. I don't know if I'm making sense there, but the banks don't get behind. They're not in business to get behind. They're in business to make money. And if they make extra money on top of things, that's great. It's part of their bottom line and part of your loss. So they're very careful about how they evaluate things. They don't want to make a loan for millions of dollars when you have $5 in the bank and no other value to your no savings, no assets, nothing. They're not going to make you a large loan unless they're just crazy. And so that's what went on here. That's the talk of the town here is people are playing games with the system. And no bank's they're going to fire the guy if the guy says, oh, that's worth, that building is worth 500 billion. It's not going to work well for anybody who doesn't look at it in a strategic manner. And they do business to make money. And that's what it comes down to. And so many people that think that, oh, they're doing me a favor by opening a credit card for me or a credit account. I got a call yesterday. Some company wanted to give me $100,000, a loan, of course, and they make money off of that. And the reason they called me is some of the numbers look good, and they're going to check it out if I'm interested at all. So they don't do that unless somebody makes money. And really, it's everybody down the line makes money. The people who promote things and make the contacts to the bank itself. So that's what I learned. And that's a nervy thing when big business, your taking out large chunks of money. And I've dealt with a number of people, as a pastor, where they overextended, and now they're going to spend most of the rest of their life trying to catch up. It's crazy, but banks don't want to do that. And once you get into a certain level, you have enough assets to really hurt yourself if you don't pay up. So,
Yeah,
go to
you know,
extent.
the bank is not. They're going to take your assets. You know, they don't want to, but they want to make sure their loan is covered. They don't care what you say it's worth.
Right.
Their evaluation, they're determining what they can take the building for and what they can sell it for to get their money back. That's what they're evaluating. And it's the bank that determines these things. And look, we've all done it, especially if you live in America, we've all done it. We've all bought a house, we've bought a car, we bought something with a credit card. That's just how we do business here. So it's interesting. And let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know if you think that there's, with this whole Trump issue, if I'm curious, do you think that there's really been a law broken? Or do you think this is ridiculous? And I think my examples that I gave are accurate. That's what happens, what happens all the time. So anyway, thanks for your input. Thanks for your conversation, Pastor. And we will talk to you next time.
All right.